beauty and the magic just to free your soul is floating on the ocean, just a notion that seems out of reach. One thing on your bucket list is just to go and see the beach. You wanna see the world, but something always holds you back. You got that itching feeling, but your dreams got hijacked. There's lots of people out there that never get to cruise, but helping hands is helping making dreams come true.
Helping hands for cruising, cruising. Helping hands for cruising, cruising. Helping hands for cruising, making your dream a reality.
You know you gotta do the things you've only dreamed about. Don't let anything stop you thinking you can't go all out. You can do the things you never thought were possible with helping hands to help you get there. Even oceans are no obstacle. You wanna see the world, but something always holds you back. You got that itching feeling, but your dreams got hijacked. There's lots of people out there that never get to cruise, but helping hands is helping making dreams come true.
Helping hands for cruising, cruising. Helping hands for cruising, cruising. Helping hands for cruising, making your dreams a reality.
So if you ever dreamed about taking a cruise in one of them big old boats, soaking up that sun, feel that breeze, yeah, there is still hope. Don't let the ocean be a notion that is out of reach. Let's get together, help each other, and go see the sea. You wanna see the world, but something always holds you back. You've got that itching feeling, but your dreams got hijacked. There's lots of people out there that never get to cruise, but helping hands is helping making dreams come true.
Helping hands for cruising, cruising. Helping hands for cruising, cruising. Helping hands for cruising, making your dream a reality. Helping hands for cruising, cruising. Helping hands for cruising, cruising. Helping hands for cruising, making your dream a reality.
I'm Eric B. from Travel Adventures with Eric B. And the first inaugural Helping Hands for Cruising Cruise has been fantastic for me. And personally, it's my first cruise, but of all of the things that's special about this cruise, the most special thing is being able to spend time with a great young man in Ford Man, aka Kenneth Oaks, who's become an outstanding friend of mine through YouTube over the past nearly 2 years now. And I truly appreciate his friendship, getting to hang with him and getting to see him get the experience at the same time as me, get the experience seeing, well, for him seeing the ocean for the very first time, and for me being on a cruise ship the first time, to be able to share that experience with the Ford man, Kenneth Oaks, has been absolutely amazing. And the people on this cruise have been amazing. Fantastic organization. There's about 40 of us here on the cruise. We've had so much fun. We've been a tight knit. We've gone to trivia together. We've had dinner together. Everything has been excellent, and I'm just excited about where Helping Hands for Cruising will go, getting more and more people out to be able to experience something that they haven't experienced before. If you're looking at this video and you're interested in Helping Hands for Cruising, please, I'm telling you right now, this is the organization for you. Please look into Helping Hands for Cruising, because we are definitely making dreams become a reality.
G'day folks, welcome aboard. Nice to have you here chatting with Shaun today on Helping Hands for Cruising. So welcome aboard. A couple of people in the chat. We've got there Joe. Welcome aboard, Joe. Turns out you will not arrive in Melbourne until the 12th of June due to the King's birthday long weekend. God, how many birthdays does he need? That far King Charlie. Well, mate, I'll be honest. Hey, when you come down, I'll be really looking forward to catching up with you. To be honest with you, I cannot remember the dates. I always leave that to my Chief Executive Officer, you know, Her Majesty, Ilana. She will tell you everything that happens with my calendar. I'm one of those people that, hey, tell me, we organise a date, and then I just let Ilana manage it. And on the one hand, that's a good thing. On the other hand, it's not such a good thing. But anyway, it is what it is, hey? Well, lots happened in the week. First of all, Helping Hands for Cruising has expanded a little bit in that we've now got ourselves a bit of an advisory board. and with that advisory board came a little bit of help. So the Helping Hands for Cruising website is going to be upgraded, and that will take place fairly shortly. We're just putting some things in place to get that happening. Talking about websites, what's become live is the website for the Tribute Bands cruise. So for the Tribute Cruise that we've got happening, there is a website for that. I will make that available shortly so that you guys can go ahead and have a look. And you know what? When you actually look at the website, I tell you what, it just makes a huge difference, because that way you can actually jump on board, have a look at the ship, have a look at all the participants, have a look at the bands, choose your cabin. You'll see the pricing on there, and then guys, just book and come on board. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Having said that, let me say that time is ticking, because young Roxy is going on her cruise in exactly 215 days, which is going to be absolutely gorgeous. She's going to have an awesome time. She's going to be spending time with some members of the board, I think Michael-Ann and Shaz and Gaz, and of course Amy. So it's going to be an incredibly great opportunity for her to have some fun. After that, we get into Christmas and then New Year, and then we have Ocean to Ocean will have their group cruise happening in June of 2025, June of next year. So what I thought I'd do very quickly is just let you have a look at what young Bruce has got going there. But first I need to put some coins into the... There you go. Okay, let's see if that gets it rolling.
Have you been dreaming of an Alaskan cruise? Or maybe you've taken one before and you just can't wait to go again. If so, the Helping Hands for Cruising Group Cruise is just the cruise for you. June 15th through June 22nd, 2025, you will set sail on the magnificent Norwegian Encore. This amazing group cruise will take you to Juneau, Skagway, a majestic cruise through Glacier Bay, Ketchikan, a stop in Victoria, British Columbia before arriving back in Seattle. Contact Bruce at ocean2oceantravel.com today to find out how you can be a part of this fantastic group cruise to Alaska. This is one you definitely don't want to miss.
Yep, I agree, folks. It's actually on our bucket list. You know, we want to go on that cruise. The only thing stopping us is our bank manager. He doesn't like us at all. But at the end of the day, folks, we will actually get some opportunity to go on board. So there we go. Let me just have a look at something here. What is that for? Okay, I'll worry about that later. All right, so now that's the Alaska cruise going on. And talking about cruises, let's have a look at who's in what ports. So currently we've got in Sydney, we are on the 19th, the most auspicious occasion today, my son's birthday. He's 28, so there we go. Brilliance of the Seas is currently in Sydney. Actually came into Sydney and sailed out at 16:45. We had the Grand Princess as well, sitting in the Newcastle Channel berth. Carnival Splendor will be in the Overseas Passenger Terminal tomorrow, as well as the Nautica, which will be at Eden Cruise Wharf, and then off to, it goes from there to White Bay. So that's going to be awesome. And then on Friday will be the Ovation of the Seas. That'll be at the Overseas Passenger Terminal. And then Saturday is Nautica, which will be in Newcastle, and then the Celebrity Edge comes in on Sunday to the Overseas Passenger Terminal. So that's what's happening in Sydney. Having a look at what's happening, excuse me, in Brizzy. So Brisbane today had no one there. Next cruise is the Grand Princess coming in on Thursday. And then followed by that is Quantum of the Seas on Friday the 22nd. Then the Pacific Encounter on Saturday the 23rd. And then the Luminosa on Sunday. Carnival Luminosa. So there we go. What's happening in Victoria, in Melbourne? Today there was nothing in port. Oh, wait a minute. Crystal Serenity was meant to be in. It was meant to come in. Oh, it is in. It came in at 7 p.m. this evening and will leave at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Sorry, 6 p.m. tomorrow night. The Coral Princess will come in on Friday and will leave on Friday. And then the Pacific Explorer on Saturday. And then Monday will be the Norwegian Spirit and the Resilient Lady. Grand Princess will be in on Sunday. So there we go. That's what's happening cruise-wise out of Sydney, Brisbane and Melbourne. All right, let's have a look. Oh, we got Jimmy in. Welcome aboard, Jimmy. How are you, buddy? Nice to see you. A couple of people having a chat backwards and forwards. Hey, Jimmy, you know what? This daylight saving coming in for you guys and coming out for us shortly, it's not a bad thing when it works in our favour. I hate daylight saving. I'll be honest with you. Cannot wait until we finally get rid of it. We will never get rid of it permanently, unfortunately. There are too many... I think I'll shut up there before I get myself into serious trouble. Because at the end of the day, I look at it this way. We need it in winter, not in summer. The reason is in winter, the days are much shorter, so daylight saving is a pain in the rear end. And in summer, who needs all the extra light? We've got enough of it anyway. So there you go. Jimmy is saying it should stay like it is now. Yeah, that would make a great thing. Basically a 2-hour, bit more than 2 hours. Well, actually, the bracket seems like 2 hours, but it's like 6 a.m. your time is 8 p.m. our time. So there we go. Yeah, interesting. Anyway, Jimmy, I just played your oh, jeez, Jimmy. I just needed to say this, mate. But Ricky Rocker, unbelievable. Came out here. I don't know if you guys have managed to see what Ricky Rocker had done to our house over last weekend, but I tell you what, it was such a shambles. We just had to put it together, and fortunately, the Australian Federal Police actually deported Ricky Rocker. He came, just to give you guys a bit of a heads up, he came to our house. He was dressed in a fireman's hat, you know, the helmet, and wrapped in hose, fireman's hose, and a breathing apparatus down by his nether regions. And I tell you what, it was just unbelievable. Anyway, the federal police came, they deported him, and he has not been leaving me alone ever since. And I tell you what, Ricky Rocker, he's when we get onto the cruise ship, I'll be able to talk to him face to face, because I will have enough security around me to be able to deal with him. Bloody Ricky Rocker. Anyway, Jimmy, it's so good to have you on board today, because it just makes my thought processes just calm down. Anyway, enough about that person. So a couple of other things that have come into being is, as I said, the Rock and Roll Tribute Cruise, their website. Now, details for their website, let me just have a look, see if I can bring it up. Let me just find it. There we go. We'll just bring it up. So the website is www.tributebandcruise.com, and that will be the show. And I'll just give you a bit of a rundown on it, very brief rundown on it, so you get to have a look at some of it. Just give me a sec. Jimmy is saying that this is the first morning, their first morning back from Florida. It was very cold here. Yeah, mate, I can imagine it's freaking freezing where you are. But, you know, the good news is it's only temporary because, I mean, you're making your move, right? Yeah, okay. There we go. I'm trying to be smart, and that's the response I get. Anyway, let's have a look. So, no, that's the wrong one. Let me see if I can find it. I will attempt to bring it up. There we go. That's the one. Let's share this with everybody so that you guys can actually get to have a look-see. So I'll just do a little bit of swifty nifty stuff here. I'll just move that there. I'll do this and do that. Okay. All right. This should. Oh, no, it's not going to work. Let me see if I can do something here. Yep. No, that didn't work. Yeah, well, I'll do this. We'll make this a touch smaller. There we go. That's better. All right. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Let me see if I can do this a second. Yep, no, that'll do. All right, here we go, folks. So this is actually the Rock and Roll Tribute Cruise website, and actually it looks absolutely amazing. If we just have a bit of a look, what you'll see is at the top we've got the Rock and Roll Tribute Cruise about, and the good news is that it mentions a fair bit about Helping Hands for Cruising, as you can see over here, bit about our mission and so forth, all the bits and pieces that we want involved with Helping Hands. It also talks about what the experience is going to be with the cruise. It also talks about the ship. And this is going to be really awesome because with the ship, the good news about with the ship is right at the very bottom, and I'm just flicking through, there's the cabins and so forth, but right at the very bottom, you'll be able to pick your cabins by checking out the decks. And this is really what I'm finding really exciting. So if anybody wants to have a go at getting onto the Rock and Roll Tribute Cruise, all you need to do is go to tributebandcruise.com, tributebandcruise.com, and that'll get you to the website, and then you'll have an opportunity to have a look at everything that's on there. The experience, the ship, the pricing, accessibility, any questions that you may have, request some information, and basically learn a little bit about our fantastic cruise. So, folks, if I may say, I think you're going to have an amazing time on board that cruise. There we go, the website again, tributebandcruise.com. All right, so let me just put some things back the way they came. Actually, no, I'll do this. I'll do this, and then we'll change things about. Okay, so there we go. So that's info about the cruise, the website. Guys, I think it's going to be an absolute ball. I think you're going to have a really great time. Only good things can happen, I believe. Yeah. What more can I say? So, let's go back to the chat and see if anything new has happened in there. Yes. Okay, so Jimmy is agreeing. That damn Ricky Rocker, wait till I meet him. I'll set him straight. Mate, I really appreciate that, because you know what? He's just been a real thorn in my side. And Jimmy's in. Jimmy's coming with us on the cruise. He's actually looking at I hope he's looking at the website, tributebandcruise.com. It's a great, it really is a good website. So, yeah, a lot more, you can get a lot more info and you can learn heaps. So, there we go. So now, in terms of other things with Helping Hands, obviously, with the Down Under cruises not having their group cruise for a number of reasons. One, there wasn't the numbers for it, and two, we actually had to cancel because we have had some other personal things that we needed to take care of. We're very solidly pushing people up going onto the Alaska cruise, and not only the Alaska cruise, but obviously the Rock and Roll Tribute, because that's where we will be. So let's have a look at a Rock and Roll Tribute Cruise highlight.
So you think you can tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain? Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail, a smile from a veil? Do you think you can tell?
What a ship. And I tell you what, we're looking so forward to going on the Norwegian Joy. It's going to be an amazing cruise. Lots of fun with everybody. So, yeah, it's going to be a really great time. And as Jimmy says, it will be a great time for a great cause. And yes, in actual fact, talking about Norwegian, last week, it was last week Friday evening or Friday afternoon for you across the pond. Those on our side of the pond, it was Saturday morning. I got up at 4 a.m. to have a chat with some of the people from Norwegian, the guy and the lady who Bruce deals with at NCL. To be honest with you, the names skip my mind right now. But the good news was it was an amazing chat we had. We spoke about helping hands, and I can tell you now I have got the utmost support from Norwegian. Not only do we have it, but also Bruce has got. They're in esteemed contact with Bruce, so it's going to be an amazing cruise. They're so looking forward to helping us with our future goals. Those being trying to get the numbers up to a point where we can charter a ship. So this is going to be really, really, really exciting. So, folks, I'm going to ask you, please, if you're listening in the chat or if you're getting this on the replay, folks, please get yourselves involved. First of all, the biggest way to get involved is get as many people as you possibly can to get involved and link up with Helping Hands for Cruising, the YouTube channel. And then also, please put your likes down. All that gets this channel right to the front of the algorithm. And most importantly, what we want to do is we eventually want to get this to a point where this channel is self-sufficient. If we're earning income, if we're getting enough people coming on board, if we can get this to the point where we've got 2,000 subs, you know what? I'm not even looking at the big numbers, but 1,000, 2,000, enough to get us getting some income. You know that we're going to be putting more people on board cruise ships. And that's really what it's all about. You heard earlier on from Eric. If you came in late and didn't hear it, you know what? Pick it up. Go back and re-watch this so that you can so that you can then see exactly what happened. Eric had an amazing time. It was his first cruise, and I can tell you he had an absolute ball. Joe is saying to Jimmy he loved seeing his trip to Florida on Facebook. Yeah, Jimmy, you look like you were having a good time, both you and Colleen, so that's awesome. Now, most importantly, folks, we want you guys to have an awesome time on board the Rock and Roll Tribute, but we also want to get some recipients on board. So if you know of anybody, whether they are part of the YouTube community or not is irrelevant. What we want is we want you to nominate somebody that you feel would benefit from actually coming on the cruise. Just put together a 2 to 5 minute video, send them up to the board, and the board of HH4C will go in and have a look. And you know what, folks? They get on, they don't. But if they get on, they will have the most amazing time. Most amazing time ever. Jimmy is saying, thanks, Joe. We'll share more during tomorrow's live stream. Well, that's going to be awesome. And Jimmy is saying that they had a blast and is ready to go back. Well, mate, have you picked the place you're going to live yet? You went and saw Chet and Robin. If you get an opportunity, go and meet up with Chris and Liz. In fact, get an opportunity, go meet up with Dewey. Hey, not even them. Go and meet up with Matt and Kimbra from Fantastic Cruising, or Fantastic Studios. I think they used to be known as Fantastic Studios. Fantastic Cruising. Catch up with them, Matt and Kimbra. Matt will teach you how to eat Vegemite. That's the only downside to him. But you know what? They're an awesome couple. You recommend Ricky? Well, you know what? The way Ricky was behaving down under, I'm a little bit loath to give him the cruise. But anyway, you know what? First of all, Jimmy, you need to put it into a 2 to 4 minute video nominating Ricky for the cruise. That mightn't be a bad idea. If you nominate him for the cruise, we'll see what happens. Jimmy is saying he wanted to meet Chris and Liz, but there's only so much time. Yeah, I know, but you know what? All you need to do is say, come and see me, and somebody would make a way. Yeah. There's them. I mean, there's a bucket load of people that you could meet that are all down that side of the world. And then there's this guy. I don't know if you've met him. He's from another cruise. He and his lovely wife. We actually had a chance to meet him. We got special T-shirts with times written on it. Jay and they gave me this really great New Hampshire mug. John and Nance, J&N Travels. There we go. J&N Travels. Oh, wait a minute. When you say that, you've got to greet them this way. 2032, John and Nancy, if you're listening. Jimmy is saying they will be going back sometime soon, so maybe we can meet then. You know what? That would be awesome. Catch up with them, Chris and Liz. But there's a bucket load of people. I mean, one of them is the Snowbirders, like I said, John and Nancy, the Snowbirders. G'day, Nick. Welcome aboard, buddy. Hey, Joe and I were having a discussion earlier on where I'm going to ask you just to clarify something in a minute. Morning, everyone. We had a 40-degree drop in one day. It's really messing with my sinuses. I'm feeling a lot better. Glad there's still plenty of time to get better before my trip. Absolutely. Hey, Nick, when are you going to be in Melbourne? Is it the 15th or the 14th or the 13th of April? Just clarify that, please. Jimmy is saying it's cold there. Hey, have you got any of that white stuff there? Jimmy and Nick, have you got any of that white stuff on the floor? I don't know what you call it. Unless it's Guinness froth. But I don't think it's beer. I don't think you have beer froth on the floor. Joe is saying, hey Nick, plans have changed a little bit. A friend bent my arm to go to a truck show in Alexandra. Oh. Jimmy is saying it's -1C where she's... Okay, do you have that white stuff on the floor? June the 14th to the 16th. First June or... okay. June is when you're going to be in Melbourne. First flight of the day between Sydney and Melbourne, and then the last flight of the day between Melbourne and Sydney on the 16th. June, not April. Bite my tongue. I was talking about froth. I wasn't talking about that S word. You know the sword. Froth on the. All right, I'm biting. You can tell I haven't had any alcohol today. I'm thinking straight. G'day, Stream Elements. Welcome aboard. Nice to have you here. Stream Elements is giving us the Facebook page, Helping Hands for Cruising Facebook page. Please donate to help special needs people go on a cruise. Joe is saying that's good to know. I'm not going to miss you, Nick. I'll be arriving in Melbourne on the 12th of June, not April. Because I think earlier on in the chat, if I'm not mistook, you mentioned Oh, sorry, you did mention June. Sorry, I beg your pardon. I sit corrected. Well done, Joe. No, none of that white stuff. All right. Um, did you get to taste any of that white stuff while you were down in Florida? You know, I'm talking about beer froth. I'm not talking about that other word. You know, the Voldemort word. Anyway, okay, a little bit of heads up, folks. Tomorrow night there will not be a Ducks live stream, and the reason is it's my son's birthday today. He's 28. We're going to have a family birthday party tomorrow evening, so we will not be having a live. So, Jimmy, you're going uncontested tomorrow, so there you go. Nick is saying we are supposed to get some of that white stuff this weekend, but that's okay. It's almost springtime here in the Northern Hemisphere. Yeah, we know. Jimmy is saying, I know the word and I'm not going to say it. You just did. It. Happy birthday to my boy. Thank you very much, Nick. Really, yeah, I saw something on Facebook today in my photos and took me through a memory of my son from when he was like 5 and up, and I almost started to tear up. So there you go. I will be sailing in June on the Norwegian Encore. Would that be correct, Jimmy? Or would it be some other thing? G'day, Marjorie. Welcome aboard. Nice to have you here. As I was just saying, folks, there will not be a Ducks session tomorrow. So tonight will have to suffice. Our next session will be on Friday night for those across the pond. Saturday, Arvo on our side of the pond. Joe's going, fair enough. Enjoy it. Yep, I will. Jimmy was saying he tasted some whiskey, but no froth. Oh, that's cool. What whiskeys did you taste, mate? And you and I are going to have to share some before we get on the cruise together. Happy birthday to my boy. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Nick is saying, I'm lucky things are in a spot at work. I'm getting brought in on my day off today. I have a chance of getting 12 hours overtime. Can't pass that up. Yup, that's good. You lot will be going to be helping me celebrate my birthday on Tuesday, May the 7th, my last year of being in the dirty 30s. Mate, you know what? There's nothing wrong with the dirty 30s. Now you're going into the incredibly filthy 40s, and that's exciting. Marjorie saying g'day to Jimmy. Joe saying g'day to Marjorie. And it's all being reciprocated backwards and forwards. Jimmy's going on the MSC Magnifica for his 60th birthday. Mate, that was a long time ago that I was 60. Seriously, I can almost remember it. Joe, Shaun, I'm headed off to Whiskey and Almond for a couple of drams. Mate, you have a good whiskey hit. Enjoy, and thanks for popping in. But Jimmy, I'm certainly looking forward to sharing a couple of whiskies with you, mate. We'll certainly have a good opportunity to have a chat and see how we're going to handle Ricky Rocker, because I could really use your support. I mean, Ricky is a real pain in the Ricky, so there we go. Marjorie is saying good morning to Joe. And Joe would be probably saying good evening to you, Marjorie, because he's in Dubbo. By the way, Joe, what was the temp in Dubbo today? Jimmy is going the sexy 60s for him soon. Yes, well, the 60s are cool. It's when you get back into that time of life where you just think about what was and then you burst out in tears. No, Stream Elements is going. Helping Hands would like to thank you for your donations. So, yes, folks, there are a couple of things going on here. We currently have 2 PayPal accounts, one for the US and one for Australia. So currently the QR code over there is an outdated one. However, if you do use that one, it does give it to you in USD. There is another QR code which I've forgotten to put on, but I will put that on, and that'll lead you directly to the Helping Hands for Cruising US PayPal account. This one over here, close to being above my head, is for the Australian market. It is for the Australian PayPal. So folks, we'll be grateful if you do throw some bucks our way, because that just puts people on cruises. That's all it does, is just get people on cruises. Joe's saying there are two that he will be trying from country to coast collaboration. Number 4 is a collaboration between a distillery he knows, Blackgate Distillery, and Fleurieu Distillery in Goolwa in South Australia. Now, I don't know very much about that distillery, but it's in a very good spot. Goolwa has got a lot going for it. Jimmy, yes, Shaun, it's going to be a great time. Whiskey and hugs all round. That absolutely. You just will not get me having any cigars, unfortunately. Happy for you to have it, but not for me. Thank you. Joe is saying the other is a Tasmanian whiskey, non-such triple grain, matured in New American oak barrels. New American oak barrels? Oh, sorry. Yeah, they get the American oak and they bring it out. That's what it's all about. Yep, it's going to be quite an exciting cruise, quite an exciting time you're going to have there, Joe, trying that out. And Jimmy, yeah, what's your favourite whiskey, Jimmy? Favourite whiskey. Nick is saying June 12 is when the final Indian Pacific wraps up. Where he has to have his tour of the Blue Mountains. Then he'll have 2 cruises on the 13th out of Sydney before he boards the Qantas flight to head to Melbourne. Cruises on the Sydney Harbour, or are you talking about the Indian Pacific? You're doing the GAN first, and then the Indian Pacific, right? Nick is saying the US state that is most synonymous with whiskey is here. It's definitely Kentucky. No. Kentucky doesn't have whiskey. They've got that other stuff. What do you call that? Yeah, it's not whiskey. It's the other thing. Jimmy is going American white oak barrels. Yep. That's a good question. He's having a think. It's not whiskey. They call it something else. Joe is going, Nick, friends of mine got to visit the Jack Daniels distillery. Yep. In Lynchburg, Tennessee. They brought me back a genuine Jack Daniels American shot glass. Bourbon. That's it, Joe. Thank you very much. They do bourbon, not so much as whiskey in Tennessee or Kentucky. Lots of bourbon. Nick, Joe, I didn't realize they were in Tennessee. I thought they were in Kentucky. No, sir. Jack Daniels is in Tennessee. Jimmy is saying his cheap everyday would be Crown Royal. He likes Woodford bourbon. Joe's going, Jim Beam is the one you are thinking of. Jimmy's saying there's so many out there, it's hard to pick. Bourbon. So you'd rather go for bourbon, would you, Jimmy, or would you actually go with a whiskey? Nick, yes, the first 2 trains are in between Darwin and Adelaide before he has to make that dumb move from flying down from Darwin through Melbourne to Sydney. I'll wave as I make my connection. Yeah, seriously, that's crazy. That's like going from, say, you're going from, say, Boston all the way down to Fort Myers to make a connection in New York. Seriously, it's stupid. Stream Elements is putting it out there. Please subscribe to the channel. Press the like button. More importantly, please share it with all your friends. Go ahead. Do that, because the more we get out there, the better. We want this to be a channel that is self-sufficient. Nick is going out of whiskey tasting at Jameson in Dublin. They gave us a taste of Johnny Walker and Jack Daniels as well. They legally couldn't tell us what the other two whiskies were until somebody asked. I'll tell you what's interesting. I have a cousin who runs an organization here called Mr. Whiskey, and he had a show, and we got invited to that show, and we went and had a look. There were whiskies from all around the world, some really interesting whiskies out of Japan, also a couple out of India. One of them tasted like rocket fuel. It wasn't exciting for us. Very peaty. Joe, to Jimmy, you aren't wrong there. Even with Australian whiskey, there are so many. Yep. Nick is going, yeah, making that connection in Melbourne is very stupid. But as you guys know, you can't trust Qantas for anything besides it screwed up. They are so nice for cancelling my direct flight from Darwin. Yeah, they did it without your permission, right? Jimmy is saying he likes whiskey best. So for you, the whiskey is the one that you like best would be the Crown Royal, right? I gotta get to taste the Crown Royal. I haven't yet. Joe is saying you can get spirits from every state and territory of Australia these days. Yep. Johnny Walker is Scotch. That's correct. It is. I was fortunate enough. My darling wife, when we first started going out, she must have cared really, really greatly for me, because she spoilt me with a Johnny Walker Blue. But then there's a friend of ours here whose son has done catering and all sorts of things from all around the world, and he's got a Japanese whiskey. Starting price on that is $3,000, 3,000 Aussie. That is like, seriously? That's a bucket load of cash. Nick, yep, they offered me jumping on the direct flight that they're now offering with Jetstar, but I didn't want to risk it having to pay more for checking in my luggage, so I opted to stay on Qantas. Jimmy is saying, I like whiskey, I like Scotch, I like bourbon. It's so hard to choose. They're like wine. Each one pairs differently with other things, food, cigars, etc. Nick is going, thankfully though, if I miss my flight from Melbourne to Sydney, there's plenty of those flights from Qantas. I just got to be at Sydney Central Station at noon at the latest. You know what? There's not only Qantas, there's a couple of other airlines, and Qantas will certainly strap you in with them as well. And if you do get the opportunity, Rex is a really good one. Nick is saying, luckily, as you guys know, there's a direct train from Sydney Airport to Central Station, so he'll be fine. Joe is going, there's a brilliant distillery in Sydney called Archie Rose. They do a really nice dry gin. I've got to try that, Joe. You know what? There's a lot of good stuff. I mean, the distilleries here during the unmentionable period, they made actually a squillion bucks creating the hand sanitizer, because they certainly had enough of the alcohol part out there. So yeah, Tasmanian distilleries. There's a couple of really nice distilleries around Geelong that are also really good. Nick is saying, sad thing is though, Shaun, I get it, because Darwin is really far away from everything, but there's really not many options out of that airport. Yeah, you are correct. You are correct. Jimmy has a bottle of Crown Royal Rare 18 year that costs $450. Jeez. Joe is saying that was Ned whiskey. Really? Wow. Nick, I forget what kind of liquor it was, but at my hotel in Philadelphia in November 2021, there was a shot that cost like $250. Really expensive whiskey. Some whiskies are really just over the top, let me say. And sometimes the question is whether or not the flavour is worth the money. I mean, to be honest with you, after you've tried a Johnny Blue and you go to it, or even a Johnny Green or black at worst case scenario, a Johnny Red does just not cut it. It's far too not basic's not the word, but it's look, to some extent some of the whiskies out there that are fairly rough, I would put them in the same category as that Voldemort stuff that Billy keeps on trying to tease me with, the one that starts in F and ends in Osters. I'm not going to say it. I do not mention the Voldemort word. There you go. I will even mistype it because I will not say it. There we go. Such is life. Anyway, folks, we've been going way longer than we normally do, but I guess I'm going to include that in as part of the fact that I won't be streaming tomorrow night. Let me just give you a quick heads up. Okay, Joe is saying to Nick, none such is really expensive. He paid $253 including GST for a bottle of one of their in-house blended whiskies. Rare expression too. Wow, that would be awesome. G'day Jonesy, welcome aboard, buddy. Did you hear from Bruce? Are you joining us? Hey Jimmy, guess who's going to be joining us on the RNR cruise? Young Mr. Jonesy and Mrs. Jonesy, I believe. So that's going to be awesome. Yes, it is Australian for P. Exactly. Ugh, rot gut. We're talking about whiskies, Jonesy. We're talking about those, once you've had the opportunity to taste the top shelf, the bottom shelf feels very rough. Jonesy's coming with us on a cruise. That's going to be awesome. So looking forward to spending time with you, mate. We bring some culture to the cruise, huh? Some good old Aussie culture to the cruise. That's the right thing. And Jimmy, so you'll be able to have a good old chat with Jonesy, because it'll be one guitarist to a drummer or a guitarist. Jonesy, what was your instrument? Drums or I thought you were drums. Anyway, yep. That would be fantastic, Jonesy. Yeah, it is. It's going to be awesome. He's coming on board. And by the way, Jonesy, I've been loving your beach walks and all the info that you've been putting out there. Seriously, with this daylight saving coming out, I don't know how much longer you're going to be. Doing your 6 a.m. starts. Your sparrow fart starts. But anyway, yep. It'll be great. G'day, Jimmy from Jonesy. And yep, he's a drummer. He's hitting them sticks. I used to play in a military band, so I played the side drum. So I can do those paradiddle things and those setting up the roll and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, I don't have Jonesy's radio voice. At any rate, folks, it's nearly an hour that we've been running, and really grateful for that. Let me just put up the rock and roll tribute website again. This is it, folks. It's Tribute Bands Cruise, and that tributebandscruise.com. Please get into it. You will find it absolutely useful for the cruise. Lots of information. You can pick your cabin, which deck you want to be on. I won't talk like a Kiwi, because I will certainly get a bucket load of you going, shh, shh, wrong time of day. Yep, no. So there we go, folks. It's an awesome website. Have a look and see how we go. You'll enjoy it. Now, Marjorie is saying to me, Shaun, I hope they have Aussie alcohol on the ship. If they have Bundaberg, I wouldn't mind Bundaberg. It's a rum. Bundaberg rum and Coke go down fairly well. Also, Bundaberg has some of their, they have what you would call soda. They have some things like ginger ale and other flavoured drinks as well. They're awesome. They come out of the same brewery as the Bundaberg as the Bundaberg rum. So there you go. Thank you, Joe. Really appreciate that, buddy. That is awesome. There's the website, guys. Get onto it, look at it. There's some good info on there, and really appreciate that, Joe. You certainly, mate, are a what can I say? You are a mod extraordinaire, my friend. Anytime we get it, now I've got to find a place that Joe does not know, and I will be able to educate him, because he pretty well knows this country back to front. They are two separate companies. Which are two separate companies? Are we on two different? Are they? Oh, Bundy the soft drink and Bundy. I thought they came out of the same factory. I thought they came out of the brewery. But you, mate, you know better than I do, so thank you for that. Really appreciate that. But Bundaberg rum is awesome. You know what Bundaberg? You know how you know you got Bundaberg rum? Because the bottle of Bundaberg rum has a polar bear on it, which is rather interesting because Australia doesn't have any polar bears. In fact, Australia doesn't have any bears at all. Now, some people will say, what about koala bears? No, koalas are not bears. They are not bears. Anyway, thank you for that, Joe. Bundaberg rum and Bundaberg brewed drinks are two different businesses, so there you go. At any rate, they're both scrumptious. Well, folks, I'm going to call it a night. It's been awesome having you on board, and for those that are coming in on the replay, thank you for coming in on the replay. Please thumbs up, and let's have some good times. Let's get this thing up and running, and let's get the numbers up. Have a good day, folks, and we'll catch you later.
Have you ever dreamt about taking a cruise on one of them fancy boats, soaking up the beauty and the magic just to free your soul? It's floating on the ocean, just a notion that seems out of reach. One thing on your bucket list is just to go and see the beach. You wanna see the world, but something always holds you back. You got that itching feeling, but your dreams got hijacked. There's lots of people out there that never get to cruise, but Helping Hands is helping making dreams come true.
Helping Hands for cruising, cruising. Helping Hands for cruising, cruising. Helping Hands for cruising, making your dream a reality.
You know you gotta do the things you've only dreamed about. Don't let anything stop you thinking you can't go all out. You can do the things you never thought were possible with Helping Hands to help you get there. Even oceans are no obstacle. You wanna see the world, but something always holds you back. You got that itching feeling, but your dreams got hijacked. There's lots of people out there that never get to cruise, but Helping Hands is helping making dreams come true.
Helping Hands for cruising, cruising. Helping Hands for cruising, cruising. Helping Hands for cruising, making your dream a reality.
So if you ever dreamed about taking a cruise cruising one of them big old boats, soaking up that sun, feel that breeze, yeah, there is still hope. Don't let the ocean be an ocean that is out of reach. Let's get together, help each other, and go see the sea. You wanna see the world, but something always holds you back. You've got that itching feeling, but your dreams got hijacked. There's lots of people out there that never get to cruise, but helping hands is helping making dreams come true.